What's up, my witches? How you doing? Oh my goodness. Hold on a second here. I see my vocals coming in red hot. We don't want that. It's so weird. I don't change settings from one thing to the next, and the settings change incredibly. So, testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. How we sounding? Hello, Tavia and Marcy. Welcome. Welcome to the rest of you. If you would like to check in and say hi. I'm ambitious tonight. Uh-oh. Hi, Laura. Welcome, my dear. Yes, I am ambitious tonight. And, you know, why wouldn't I be? We're on the new moon, and there's a lot going on. So we'll see how well we do. Hi, Stephanie. Welcome. Hello, Becca. Hello, Darcy. Yay. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah, Wisdom of the Oracle is, I don't use it very much either. So I picked that one, and I picked the Tarot of the Abyss because I wanted a couple that I'm just really not, well versed with, to put my brain on alert. Hello, Deb. How you doing? So glad that you're all here. So very glad to see you. Good. Thank you. I'm glad the sound is good. Thanks for that, Becca. Wow. Shit's happening, isn't it? So let me pull myself out of the way, and actually let's start with a cleanse. I've already cleansed myself, and my hands are shaky because I already had my coffee, because we had a low pressure system yesterday, and then it cleared out and got beautiful and high pressure, and then it clouded up again, so my head is having fits. So let me offer this smoke cleanse to you on this new moon, as we have a wonderful cosmic reset by air and fire. May you be purified and charged. And by water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. All right, let's do a grounding real quick. Get yourself nice and comfortable. Get yourself supported. And just bring your attention down into your body. Let everything from today fall away. Let everything on the mental level fall away. No worries, no agenda. And then let everything on the emotional level fall away. No stress. No residual feelings of the day, just let them melt away. Everything on the physical level, aches and pains, tiredness, tension, just let it melt away. And on the spiritual level, let any blockages disappear. Feel yourself opening up. Opening up to the energies on this wonderful Pisces new moon. Oh, sweetie. Yes, we love it when the kitties respond to ritual. I've got, yes, Pywacket is back there, being a black hole on the bed that you cannot see. But he's here. He's never too far from me at night. Ah, the trash can always wait, Laura. Yes, absolutely synchronicity. It doesn't surprise me at all. All right, good. Everybody's done your ritual for today, gotten yourself all cleaned up and ready to go. Let's just have some bells to bring us into the present moment and clear our space. Just feel that sound washing over your space and making everything that doesn't belong there disappear. And now feel that sound washing over your body, energizing it and cleansing it of anything that you don't need. And now let that sound put the call out to our team, our spiritual guides, our good angels and fairies, that they can be attracted to that. Let's invite in our guides and guardians, allies and ancestors. And I offer you fresh water, and I offer you the fire of Azrael. And I just found out today, which I did not know, that the angel Azrael is actually the angel that rules over Pluto, that corresponds to Plutonian energy. That's big, and I'll tell you why. Hello, Sherry. Welcome, dear. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, we're jumping right in today, is to take a look at the new moon chart. Hold on, let me get a handle on myself here. So new moon occurred at 12:34 p.m. in the Eastern time zone. So we are on the waxing side of that new moon. And here's the chart that you're looking at. I'm not going to switch the chart style to get rid of the house cusps. I'm just going to ignore them, so we're only talking about planetary energies. But the first thing I want to bring your attention to is down here on the bottom right, where we have the breakdown of the elements and the modes. And please notice that there is 0 fire in this chart, 0, and that is with the house cusps considered. So it means that the angles do not fall in fire signs, and there are 0 planets in fire signs. This is a good thing, I think. This is really a good thing, considering what we're going through right now. We have a strong abundance of water, strong Pisces chart signature, and why wouldn't we? We've got 4 planets in Pisces, and what really characterizes this chart and makes it so unusual and unusually potent is the number of conjunctions that we have going on. Significant conjunctions. Look at this. Venus at 26 Capricorn, Mars at 27 Capricorn, Pluto at 27 Capricorn. So we have a true exact stellium of the goddess of love, the god of war, and the god of death and transformation, the god of the underworld, conjunct each other. This is a signature for what's going on right now. We have power struggles happening on our planet, and they've been going on for a while, but the conjunctions to me just say that there are energies ripening, that things are coming together and ripening in order to be transformed. And Pluto, of course, is about transformation. With Mars and Pluto exactly conjunct, those are both co-rulers of Scorpio. So we are dealing with these underhanded, autocratic dictators. I mean, Scorpio rules all of those things. Anything that starts with undertakers, undermining, maybe not understanding, that's more Sagittarius, but just anything underhanded, underground, all right? And certainly there's a reason that plutocracies are called plutocracies. It's because they're based in power, they're based in control and domination. That's what Pluto is. It's control, it's domination, it's inevitability, it's extremes, and it's transformation. It's, the inevitable part. It says things will change, they will transform. So with both Venus and Mars, those are planets that rule us, our personal energies, our values and affections, our motivations, our actions, right? And coming up with the conjunction to Pluto here, our values are called into question, our motivations and actions, our violent tendencies are all coming up for transformation here. We also have Mercury and Saturn exactly conjunct. And exact in astrology means within a degree, but Saturn is at 18 degrees and 59 minutes of Aquarius, and Mercury is at 19 degrees 3 minutes. So we are literally 4 minutes away from the exact conjunction here. It's actually a separating aspect because Mercury has come up conjuncted Saturn and is moving away from it now. So it's going to separate in the coming days. But Saturn is the Lord of Karma, and Mercury is our day-to-day activities, our agendas, our schedules, how we think and talk and communicate with each other, you know? So Saturn is calling us to be responsible with our communication, with our agendas, with what we, what we codify into law, the language that we use, and the consequences of those communications in that language and those laws. And those are sitting in Aquarius. So it's time, that's up for a major, major update and innovate. And we look at countries coming together in a way that this world has never seen before. And in Aquarius, we're talking about humanitarian concerns. And then we have the new moon, of course. So there's Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, the last 3 signs of the zodiac. Don't tell me we are not in a major culminating period right now. So Sun, Moon conjunct at 12 degrees, and we have Jupiter in there for another true stellium. Jupiter is at 14 degrees. And so Jupiter brings tremendous benefit. Jupiter brings generosity and outreach and global. Jupiter is, brings in the global aspect of it. Never in my lifetime do I remember seeing the entire planet activated like this together, activated and motivated. So we see our global values, and we see the focus being people, ordinary people rising up. The Ukrainians are definitely showing as ordinary people defending their homeland. A country where the people themselves decided we want democracy. So we're seeing this reset. And of course, in Pisces, there's, Neptune is hanging out in Pisces too. It's way too far out to be part of this stellium, but it certainly is a 4-planet Wad in Pisces. So Pisces is triggering our compassion. All of that Piscean energy is about our compassion and our empathy. We are really feeling what other people are going through. And we can relate. There's this Pisces kind of wipes away the barriers, wipes away the boundaries and the distance, and brings us very close to each other on an energetic level. So this new moon is saying we are, the focus is on the underdog. We are caring about the underdog. And Saturn and Mercury says that this humanitarian cause is coming to the forefront. And then this stellium in Capricorn is really bringing us to a reckoning with the structure of how we have gone about business on this planet and how we have allowed people like Putin to get so damn powerful. Okay. The fact that there's no fire calms things down just a bit. If there was a lot of fire in this chart, it would be hair-raising. It's hair-raising enough. So I want to go away from this chart because I want to show you something else here. And that is Daddy Vladdy. I just want to take a look at his natal chart here real quick. So here we have a Libra sun in Libra in the 11th house. So his drive for significance, he really does want to be liked. He really does. He's a Libra. You think, oh, Libras are so, so balanced and so concerned about the other. How does this dude end up being who he is? Well, what this Sun in Libra in the 11th says is that he's very strongly motivated to bring people together around him, to have groups. 11th house is groups of people, friends and groups of people, like-minded people. So Libra sets up a lot of people around him. I need to have my friends around me. I need to have, people that agree with me around me. I need to have peace and harmony around me. But let's take a look here at his rising sign. He has Scorpio rising. It's in the Scorpio decans of Scorpio, so it's very scorpionic. So his outward personality is a mask. And Scorpio risings generally have a talent for appearing however they want you to see them. They can appear in many different ways. They can transform their outer personality to suit circumstances. It also says that he's most comfortable when he's in control, because your rising sign is also your safety net. It's your filter and your shield, how you keep yourself feeling safe. Well, he feels safe when he's in control. And let's take a look at the ruling planet here of Pluto, which is right up here, sitting on his midheaven. 1 degree off his midheaven in the 10th house in Leo. My God, there's the dictator. Now, I want to stop for a moment and say that I also have Scorpio rising and my ruling planet Pluto conjuncting my midheaven in Leo. But my Pluto is in Virgo. His is in Leo. So this talks about Leo. I must be the boss. There can be only one, should be his catchphrase. And all eyes on me. Pluto in Leo sitting on the midheaven in the 10th house says, I must be the boss. I must be the only boss. Everyone must be looking at me at all times. So perfectly comfortable in the public eye. But boy, is he about dominance and control. And then let's look at this Venus sitting in Scorpio in the first house. This is how the Libra sun and the ruler of that Libra sun, Venus, sits in his first house. So he is very capable of putting forth the air of kindness, of sweetness, of likability. But Venus in Scorpio, again, is about control. It's about manipulation. And he can manipulate that sweetness and manipulate the affections of others. Gemini moon in the 8th says that he's not really bothered too much by feelings. He has Venus in Scorpio, and that is the only water planet in this entire chart. So Venus or moon in Gemini just says that I intellectualize feelings and that I'm very agile when it comes to expressing emotions. So he can just, they just kinds of lets them slough off. Now, what I want to show you next here is a bi-wheel of pooping and the new moon. Okay, let me catch up with some messages here. Yeah, Pluto trine Mars. That's okay. It's okay. Thank you, Tavia. Yes, Pluto trines Mars. It's right there, So let's look at this new moon chart and where it's hitting his. So I want to bring you down here to the emphasis in Pisces in his 4th house. I want to bring your attention to the fact that his 4th house sits in Aquarius. So Uranus rules the 4th house. 4th house describes the end of your life. So it can talk about, like, do you end up in a nursing home? But it can describe the manner of the end of your life. 8th house rules the topic of death in your life, your opinions about it, how you feel about it, the role it plays in your life, that kind of stuff. Let's also mention that the moon sitting in the 8th house sits in Scorpio's house, so we have an overlay of Scorpio moon. Again, he feels safest and most secure when he is in control. Okay, so the thing I want to point out to you is we have transiting Uranus, which is the natal ruler of his fourth house. And Aquarius on the fourth house cusp, when we're talking about the manner of the end of your life, can talk about Uranian things: sudden, unexpected, potentially explosive. All right. So transiting Uranus, that rules his fourth house, is opposing Venus, natal Venus, which rules that eighth house. Today, a Russian businessman, multimillionaire, whose name is, wait, I brought this up because I wanted you to know, this was reported by Newsweek and several other sources. Alex Konanikin has offered a $1 million bounty to any, here, wait, let me get it right. Is offering a $1 million bounty to any military officer who apprehends Vladimir Putin, dead or alive, for committing war crimes in his invasion of Ukraine. So, yikes. He's got this, this wad down here in his third and fourth house. I'm going to wrap it up here. But the other thing I want to point out about just his natal chart is he has no oppositions. Yeah, no opposition to him. He's just been able to roll on through. So I just wanted to kind of bring those up. And let's take a look real quick here at Zielinski's chart, his natal chart. So very different. So he's an Aquarian, Sun, Venus conjunction in Aquarius. A lot of actors have this because they're unusual. They have no problem being, quirky and wacky and unusual. He's a free spirit, certainly. Aquarius rules his midheaven, and Uranus sits in his sixth house. So it is his work to be in the public eye and fulfill his destiny. And that destiny is going to change things. That midheaven in Aquarius says when he fulfills his destiny, it changes things. He's got Gemini rising. So, of course, he's an actor. He can communicate. He can change personalities. He can be very adaptable. And he's got Jupiter sitting right there. So a genuinely generous man, a man who is concerned with, expansiveness and bringing benefit. He's got a Virgo moon. So a bit of a worrywart, of course. He's also got Saturn sitting conjunct his fourth house cusp. So he had to grow up early and take on a lot of responsibility. Let me real quick look at how this new moon is hitting Zielinski's chart. Okay, I haven't looked at this yet, so give me a second. That big wad, that Pluto-Mars-Venus wad, is sitting in his eighth house, completely contained in his eighth house. That's a bit worrying. The sun rules his fourth house and sits in the ninth, which says the end of life would be something, could also be something abrupt because that sun sits in Aquarius. But what this says is, with the sun ruling fourth house, it could be by his own hand. It could be the end of life has something to do with something that you yourself did, because the sun is you yourself. And certainly global repercussions, because that sits in the ninth house. At any rate, I'm not going to continue with this because I'm ambitious. I got a lot to do here. So anyway, let me bring you back so I can see you. Okay. Yeah, crazy shit. That's not what I want you to see. You go away, you come back. Okay. Now we're all set, but we're only 25 minutes in. Usually I'm just bullshitting and we're 25 minutes in. So yeah, ambition. I have ambition. Let's introduce you to the decks for tonight. I may not get through all of these decks, but you guys have some say in that. First we have Le Voyageur, one of my very favorites. This was on my mind when I woke up this morning. Then we have the Osho Zen. Then we have, Darcy will be cheering, the Sacred Rebels. Then we have Tarot of the Abyss, which I have only used once in my unboxing. Then we have the Wisdom of the Oracle, which I also have only used once or twice. Then we have Symbolon. I've had this one for a long time. And I want to tell you, there's another deck that I grabbed that I thought for sure, and I was going through the thing and I asked the Psi cards. I asked the Psi cards what, if they wanted to play tonight. Please tell me if you want to play tonight. And as I was shuffling, the card that flipped out was no. So I went, okay. I put them back in the box. And then later it's like, you know what? I really would like to do these. Let's just, I'm just going to cut them this time and see what they say. Do you want to play tonight? No. So the Psi cards are not playing tonight. You're welcome, Tavia. I'm glad you got something out of that. Yeah, when I looked at Putin's chart today, it was just like, holy shit. And then when I looked at the aspects, really something else. Okay, let me make some room. And what I might do here is roll a die to see which one we go with first, I think. What do you think? No. When they're clear, they're clear. All right. Yeah, not going to do the astro dice tonight because we just did a whole bunch of astrology. But let's see which deck is coming up first here. Number 5. My little tiny die. And that is Wisdom of the Oracle. It's funny because I wanted to reach for this one first. All righty. Let's do some more Fire of the Plutonian Angel Azrael. And so many things, yes, there are so many things we want to know about tonight. We want to know about those three, apparently. Let's just see what the decks want to talk about. But our concern is for the entire planet. Our concern is for, number one, the Ukrainians. And I do want to say that I feel the frustration of every being on Earth with the fact that we're not just charging in to save these people from this horrendous thing they're going through. But you have to know how very complicated these situations are. We're dealing with a madman who I think would not hesitate to pull the trigger if he's backed sufficiently into a corner. You can see his paranoia with him setting up to meet people at the end of a 60-foot table. He won't let anyone physically close to him because he knows there's a target on his ass. His paranoia is justified. See what we got here. Time to go. Regeneration and fork in the road. Woo, baby. Time to go. Yeah. Yeah, it's time for a lot of things to go. It's time for the strongman model to go. It's time for the nukes to go. It's time for true global culture. Not culture. That's not what I mean. Just global government, that we are aware that we are one planet and one race, the human race, and that we all have the same wants and needs. So time to go can also say it's go time to get things, to quit pissing around and bust some fucking moves, If anybody watched the State of the Union address last night, it was red, blazing hot. And coming out with the subject of Ukraine, there were many moments where everyone in the chamber was standing and applauding. So we are experiencing a type of unity that we haven't felt in a while. And that, all those conjunctions in the new moon chart shows that unity, shows things coming together, coalescing, right? Our values and our actions are coming into alignment with the strongest planet of the planet of inevitable change, the planet of regeneration, right there. That's Pluto. Time to go regeneration and fork in the road. We have a choice to make. And so does Putin. He has a choice to make. He has to know that if he did choose to pull the trigger, and the reason he threatened so quickly is because things went bad for him so quickly. I saw a photo today of a Russian soldier who surrendered, and he was standing there surrounded by Ukrainians. They gave him food and tea, and he was FaceTiming with his parents. They had a phone so he could call his parents. And what he told his parents was, I didn't know I was coming to war. These young soldiers are conscripts. So they've been drafted in. And they were told that they were going to be doing military exercises on the border. They were not told they were going to war. They were not told they were invading. So the more that we see these things and that they know it's an option and they're saying, I don't want to die for this asshole, And the Ukrainians, here's the Piscean energy, saying, please come to us, surrender, we will feed you, we will give you shelter. So the fork in the road here says we've got a choice to make. We have a choice to make. Okay, between time to go and regeneration, we have loyal heart. So I think this is where we really do, as we're making these significant choices every step forward. Look at the owls looking at each other. We have to really come back to our bonds as human beings, what joins us together rather than what splits us apart. And that speech last night was all about unity, all about it. People coming together, taking care of people at the grassroots level. Politicians recognizing that it's the goodwill of the people that puts you where you are. And then between regeneration and fork in the road here, we have unfinished symphony. We've made many starts in the past towards truly global diplomacy, but we've left so much undone. We've put this veneer of, diplomacy and of humanitarianism and of, care about the global economy, care about climate change. There's been a veneer of care about these things, but the work has been unfinished because we haven't had politicians that are willing to, like I said, bust some fucking moves. Power plays that are finally heading us in the right direction. Power plays that will take these people out that are just absolute roadblocks to progress. And you know who I'm talking about. Ooh, milk and honey. Look at this. Okay. That tells me that we have, that's a wonderful card. There's so much beauty in this world. I don't want to cry this soon. Come on. There's so much good to be had in this world. There's so much beauty. And the fact that as this invasion is unfolding, we have seen all this, sharing of pictures of sunflowers. And there was a museum that got hit today that destroyed the paintings of this wonderful Ukrainian woman. And people are sharing those paintings and that artwork. There's so much beauty in this world. And that is what has to take over for the greed. Sweetness, nourishment, everyone deserves it. Everyone deserves a good life. You know, and a good life doesn't mean being a millionaire or a billionaire. A good life means I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to eat or not. I don't have to worry about, do I have a place to live? And if we have those basic needs met, then we can see this unfinished symphony being finished by humanity as a whole. I don't want to cry. We can be loyal to each other. We can be loyal to each other. And at this fork in the road, we can go the right way. The right way. Not the wrong way. Okay. All right. Wisdom of the Oracle, you're making me cry. Time to go away. Wow. Yes, a Pisces new moon. Crying's going to happen. And guess what? Guess who has a Pisces moon? That would be me. It's at 3 degrees. So, who's up next? Deck number 2. The Osho Zen. Ooh. I've been wanting to see what this deck has to say because I think it can tell us, you know, what we need to look at in ourselves as the human race. Whoopsie. What do we need to examine in ourselves? What do we need to heal in ourselves in order to head in the right direction? So what do you want to tell us tonight, Osho Zen? What do you want to tell us tonight? What do you want to tell us tonight? Whoopsie. All right. See what we got here. I'm going to go with the 6 cards again. Look what's in the middle here. It says we are the world. We have mind on this side, and we have experiencing. Okay. So on the one hand, and look at this mind card. Wow. Look at this. This is a court card, and I don't know which court card it is, but does it really matter? Let's just go intuitively with the image. Come on, focus. Come on. Sometimes I got to do this. There we go. Look at what's going on in that head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What are those things? I can't even really see. It looks like chimneys. It looks like brick things. Constructs. Certainly a lot of busyness going on. And a lot of calcified thinking and confusion and torment, mental torment. And on this side, we have experiencing. Look at the difference. This is someone that is dropping all those mental constructs and meeting life on the experiential level, meeting life at face value. This is what takes us off into all the lies, you know. Sorry, I'm looking at messages. That's funny, Becca. Yes, very cubist. So the mind is what can lead us astray. The liar that lives in our head, the predator. There's that album I told you about last week, The Woman's Boat. There's a song on it called The Predator, and it's about what goes on inside your head. I want to see, I do want to see what this mind is. I do believe it's clouds, water. Yes, clouds, the mind. Is this one of those decks that does the quartz? Wait, whoa, holy shit. What the? Okay. So it does all of the quartz first. Water. Clouds. This is, yes, this is the king. Oh, the page of clouds. All right. This is what happens when we forget that the mind is meant to be a servant and start to allow it to run our lives. The head is filled with mechanisms, the mouth is ranting and raving, and the whole surrounding atmosphere is being polluted by this factory of arguments and opinions. Arguments. Manipulations of words and ideas. But wait, you say, the mind is what makes us human. It's the source of all progress, all great truths. If you believe that, try an experiment. Go into your room, shut the door, turn on a tape recorder, and give yourself total permission to say whatever is on your mind. If you really allow it to all come out without any censorship or editing, you'll be amazed at the amount of rubbish that comes spewing forth. The page of clouds is telling you that somebody somewhere is stuck in a head trip. Take a look and make sure it isn't you. Well, it's the entire world. We're stuck in this head trip. You know, one of the head trips in the U.S. has been the trickle-down economic thing. You know, we've been stuck in that head trip forever. And, I mean, I'm not stuck in that head trip. I know it doesn't work. Everybody that isn't part of the 1% knows it doesn't work. But we're stuck in it. So experiencing the Three of Fire says that we need to get into the reality of life. And part of that reality is gratitude, the practice of gratitude. I have a couple little books that, you know, somebody gave me. They're just little tiny little notebooks, not many pages, long and skinny. It's just here, things to take notes in, you know. And I have dedicated one of those today to be my gratitude journal. That at the end of the night, you know, when I'm trying to get sleepy, I'm going to look at my day and write down everything very specifically that I am grateful for that happened in that day. Nothing will pull you into the present moment more than that, and more into the actual experience of your life rather than this. And an experience is something that can be filed away in a notebook or captured on film and pasted into an album. Experiencing is the feeling of wonder itself, the thrill of communion, the gentle touch of our connectedness with all that surrounds us. The woman in this card is not just touching this tree, she's in communion with it. She has almost become one with it. It is an old tree and has seen many hard times. Her touch is gentle, reverent, and the white on the inside of her cape reflects the purity of her heart. She is humble, simple, and that is the right way to approach nature. Nature doesn't bang any drums when it bursts forth into flower, nor play any dirges when the trees let go of their leaves in the fall. But when we approach her in the right spirit, she has many secrets to share. If you haven't heard nature whispering to you lately, now's a good time to give her the opportunity. I don't even need to look up the one in the middle. One of the things I noticed this morning as the snow, you know, the big piles of snow are starting to finally disappear, is in the woods. All of the snow was gone, but at the very base of the ravine is a big rock, and this morning there was just a white circle around that rock, a white circle of snow. The snow was totally gone, the rest of the woods, but at the lower part there was this beautiful white ring around this rock. So that's one of my gratitude things. All right, so between mind and we are the world, we need receptivity. We need to learn again, or maybe for the first time, how to really listen to each other and be receptive to what others are saying. It is absolutely breaking my heart to read about mayors in Ukrainian cities that are begging for help, and we're sitting here. But the truth of it is, a Western country goes actually into Ukraine and the nukes are going to start to fly. That's what I think anyway. And now we have 5 of rainbows. So between we are the world and experiencing, we have the outsider. Ooh, hold up here. So receptivity and the outsider. This means that everybody must have a seat at the table. Everybody, everywhere. Every country, many countries and cultures are still engaging in terrible racist and even genocidal activities. We need to bring the outsiders in. And I think what it's saying here is that one of the most important things is recognizing who is on the outside. And you know who's on the outside? The fucking majority of humans on this planet. And we need to change that. Look at him standing at the gate looking in. Let us into the club. Let us into the club that decides whether wars are going to be fought. Because the ones that go and die never get that say-so in whether they, wars are started and ended. The people that actually die don't have the say-so, and that needs to stop. Ooh, baby! And the last card we get is Thunderbolt, the Tower. Wow. It's a wake-up call. There's no doubt about it. And I have to be perfectly honest. I have a strong feeling that there's going to be one nuke. I just really have a strong feeling that one happens before things really turn. We're certainly in a precarious position. It is not a done deal, but Thunderbolt at the end here says, whatever it takes to wake us the fuck up, right? Whew. All right, you guys. Wow. Thank you, Osho Zen. I'd rather have a trip to Hawaii. Okay, next up is, we already did that one. We already did that one too. 3, okay. Sacred Rebels. Darcy loves this deck, and I don't use it very often. And I should. This is an Alana Fairchild deck. And here's group flying out of here. Boy, they're making it easy tonight, huh? Okay, we have, what do you feel? So on this Pisces new moon, being absolutely in our feelings and allowing ourselves to feel, that one wants to be looked at too. Allowing ourselves to really feel the impact of what's happening to our fellow human beings, not running away from the emotion of it. Emotions, I've talked so much about emotions. Emotions belong to you, but they're not who you are. But my God, they shake us at a bedrock level, right? Water, representative of emotions, water is, to me, the most powerful force on this planet. It can wear down mountains. It always seeks its own level at the lowest point, We can't live without it. The presence of water on this planet is what makes it a living planet. But feelings are so powerful that they can have us running scared of just feeling them. And, the thing about feelings is they happen after the fact. I think we need to be more concerned about the events that bring the feelings, but not afraid of the feelings themselves. And we also need to be crystal clear with ourselves that, what life is really about. Everybody's going to die. Everybody that we love, it doesn't matter how much we love them or need them, everybody's going to die. We're all going to die. We don't know when. 2 things we know. Only 2 things we know. So we need to get in touch with our feelings. We need to look, I'm constantly thinking about the people in Ukraine. What would I do? What would I be taking with me? If I had to try to bug out of here with these 3 cats, holy shit, man, I don't even have a carrier for each one of them at the same time. What would I do? And I was reading an article from January 3rd that was talking about Putin and Ukraine and that these warnings have been happening for a while now. Putin, for months, has been amassing troops at the border. Have I been hearing about it? Nah. We've been more, much more occupied in the U.S. with our own assholes. So, I mean, not our own assholes, our own, those guys. You know what I'm talking about. But it was talking about, Ukrainians themselves coming to terms with the idea of a go bag. Do you have a go bag or a go box that shit hits the fan, we got to bug out of here now? Do you have that? And if you don't, maybe you're living in a fool's paradise, because things can change at a moment's notice. That's a fact of life. We're not in control. So what this is saying, what do you feel, is about really coming to terms with how we feel about things that are going on in the world. How much do we feel with other people? And what feelings do we kind of run away from, and why? Because our fear of feelings can keep us from dealing with reality at a pretty fundamental level. What do we feel? In the middle, we have follow your own rhythm. I'm hearing the drums, yes. And then over here we have release the dark wound, let love live. So getting in touch with our feelings, understanding that feelings have cycles. Everything has cycles. But, feelings are represented in astrology by the moon, and the moon goes through phases, ups and downs. The nature of emotions is that they move. It's moving, changing energy, round and round, up and down, right? And they go in a rhythm. So looking at what you're feeling right now and where you are in that cycle, where you are in that rhythm. And different events have different emotional cycles. You can have something where you have a particularly good day, you feel good for that day, and then that cycle is over. You have a spectacular day. Let's say you go to a concert, you go to see like your favorite musician in the whole wide world. I'm thinking about going to see Miyavi back in 2011 right now, because that was a personal peak for me. And I was high on that for weeks afterwards, just, So that had its cycle. When you lose someone and you're grieving, it is a minimum of a 2-year cycle. But that also is an individual rhythm. There's no standard. Here's how long grief takes. Grief takes as long as it takes. That's what this one is saying. Follow your own rhythm. Recognize your own emotional cycles. Right now, I'm in the middle of getting my adrenals retested again because it's just been so bad. And I'm looking at the cycle of the year and how my feelings ebb and flow throughout that cycle based on my physical health. Everything's connected, right? So time to really look at your feelings, look at the cycles of your feelings. What are your emotional rhythms? So this is more of a personal message here. So, connecting with your feelings, connecting with your personal rhythms. And then this, release the dark wound and let love live. This is telling us that we need to look at the things that we're hanging on to emotionally. Where are we attached? And trying to pretend that we feel good all the time when we really don't. We need to recognize the rhythms and let go of wanting to hold on to the good stuff and avoid the dark stuff. That's Buddhism 101. Beyond the mind, the heart beats. Power of attraction. Okay, so here we go again with that mind, versus experiencing. So looking at actually your emotional rhythms outside of your mind and what you're doing in your head. Centering into your heart. Because you do have a little bit of control of these rhythms, depending on your self-care, your habits of self-care. And self-care isn't just about getting your recovering from work, you know. It's about loving your life. That's this let love live. It's about loving your life and building a life. I saw this go past on Facebook today. It's about building a life that you don't have a need to escape from. And if we look at things like that, you know, as far as the whole planet and what people deserve and what people need, then we can start to change in the right ways. So becoming heart-centered, loving our lives into what we want them to be. And the power of attraction says when we apply that love, when we get heart-centered like that, then we attract that to us. And the last one is heaven sent. Then we step into the creativity of the gods. We step into that power. The law of attraction, the power of attraction is based in living in that sense of love, living in this feeling of I love my life regardless of what's going on. I've got a Buddhist koan in my head that talked about at a monastery, and one of the senior lamas dies, and the high lama was grieving and weeping, and the students were very confused, and they went to this lama and said, why are you so distraught? Why are you weeping? We thought you understood about, you know, the nature of life and death. And the lama said, I do understand, but when else do I get an opportunity to weep? Okay, I'm catching up here. Worried Putin could resort to, yeah, he is. He's failing. And you're right, Laura. It's unacceptable for the world to see him as a failure. With that Pluto and Leo in the midheaven, oh my God, does he have a gigantic ego. I hope someone stops him soon as well. What I also see is really the deterioration from the inside. Where I am putting energy is in visualizing the soldiers one at a time, these individual people. It's not an army, it's people. These people saying, this is not what I'm here for. This is not what I want. I have the power to say no, and laying down their arms. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, Tavia, shamanic work. It's a good day to die. Absolutely. 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 Wow. Well, they are talking tonight, I gotta say. All right, we've got 1, 4, and 6 left to go here. 6. Symbolon. This is an interesting deck. It is a deck that I have to look things up in. We will do 3 cards from it because it has a wonderful 3-card reading. And the book actually gives the meanings of the 3 cards in each of the 3 positions. I really want a center for this one. Hold on. Tell us what we need to know, Symbolon. Tell us what we need to know. Tell us what we need to know. Yeah, I agree, Becca. This is one of those days where everything's very clear. You know, it is crystal clear. No confusion happening here. Tell us what we need to know. Tell me what we need to know. Give me 3 off the top, please. Whoops, there's 1. Tell me what we need to know. There's 2, there's 3. Yes. Oh, there's 4. 1, 2. Okay. So we'll start with the 3, and then we'll see what the other one is about. Now, what's cumbersome about this deck is that there's no numbers, and you have to look things up in a really funky ass way. All right. Quantum leap is the first position. And you know what? They're telling me that these two are like together, and then we have this one. Let's just go through and see. Quantum leap. This is Sagittarius and Aquarius, Jupiter and Uranus. Oh, they use an old symbol for Uranus. The theme summary is change of paradigm, leap into the unknown, the sannyasin. I don't know what that is. Sannyasin, S-A-N-Y-A-S-S-I-N. Does anybody know what that is? I've never heard the word before. Liberation from religious dogma, the fool on the roof, the knowledge of knowing nothing. So, I mean, it is a fool card. Look at him. He's leaping from one cliff to another. He's dressed like a jester. Okay, as the first card of the problem, you are confused and disoriented. You can hardly hold on to the old, clearly feel the need to take the leap from the old, but lack courage. Oh, boy, does that say something, right? Oh, Becca, how sweet. So sweet. Tell him thanks. Okay. So, boy, does that say where we are. We are a ball of confusion. That's what the world is today. Hey, hey. So, we are a ball of confusion. We can't let go of the old. It says we can hardly hold on to the old. We need to take the leap forward, but we lack the courage. I would hazard to say that it's not courage that we're lacking, it's imagination. It's imagination. The people in power is who I'm talking about right now. Because they are so attached to their materialistic agenda, and they cannot imagine something different. Those of us are slowly, humbly, bumbly balls of shit at the bottom here. We can certainly imagine different things than where we're at. Okay, the next one we have Cancer and Aquarius. Look at Aquarius. Okay, it starts with Cancer. See, this is what makes it really hard to look things up. We have a card for each of the signs, and then we start with Cancer, and we go to Leo in combination with each of the other signs, and then we go to Aries and through the rest. So it gets very confusing. Okay, Cancer, page 45. This card is called Deliverance. And you see this person crawling out of an egg. Why am I reminded of Hieronymus Bosch? Deliverance, Moon and Uranus, emotional release, leaving childhood behind. Cold freedom, insecurity, exile from the homeland. Woo! All right. So number 2 in the sequence is the way through the problem. You already know that the shell has deep cracks, that you need to give birth to something new. Wow, is it directly coming after this one? A certain theme in your life has aged. Your path involves pecking away the remaining pieces of the shell, and that takes a lot of strength and hard work, but you know there is no turning back now. So we can't hold on to the old ways. We must take a leap into the future, but we lack the impetus and the courage. This is saying the cracks have already started, and now it's going to take the hard work of pecking away at the shell, at where things are calcified, at where the unquestionable things are. What are we not willing to question? What has become dogma in our culture? That's where things have calcified. Well, it's just the way things are. No. And it acknowledges that it's going to be hard work to pick away at this shell and liberate ourselves from the restriction of it, because we are ready to be reborn and delivered. All right. This one is Virgo, and I feel like this one is going to just illustrate here. Hold up. The ego. There we go. It's called the servitor. Virgo and Mercury. What I'm doing is looking at it in the second category along with this one. It's reason, accepting reality, rationality, sobriety, spiritual balance. All right, I'm going to read the first one, which can be as a single card. The card says you refuse to accept your current position in life. You like to keep a clean image by blaming others, leading you to become caught up in your own projections, but the finger ultimately points back at you. So as kind of a descriptor of this one, because those two did come out together, it really says we've got to take a good, long, hard look, not just at government and what those people are doing, but what we're doing. How we every day vote with our money and where we choose to spend it and what we choose to spend it on. All right, then let's look at this last one here for the outcome. We have Leo and Leo and Capricorn. Sun and Saturn. And I just forgot the page it was on. So sorry, darlings. Let's see, Leo, Capricorn. 54. This one's called The Burden. The view from the summit has given you a clear perspective. Law and conscience have become the measure of your life. As Kant said, the starlit sky overhead and the conscience within will determine your actions. Okay. So the fact that it's burden, but look at it's Leo and Capricorn. We're talking about authority here and a plan and achievement and what we're after over the long haul. That's the Capricorn part. And it says that we have the perspective we need, but law and conscience. The sky overhead, the conscience within will determine your actions. Okay, so the sky overhead can also talk about just the atmosphere that we're in, but the conscience, you know, has to really be what motivates us here. We need to allow our conscience to move us up that mountain because we know things aren't right and we can't rest. You know, we can't rest knowing that things aren't right when your conscience is smiting you. Think about, you know, when you've done something a little sus and you know that you've done wrong and you know, and it's like, you know, and your conscience is really getting to you. For me, it becomes this mega shame dance, and I have to do something because it's unbearable. And it's like, okay, I'm really wrong. And where it hits me, where my conscience really hits me, is when I'm doing the dance of just strenuously making myself right. And it's like, no, you know you're really wrong and you need to apologize. And then as soon as I pick up that burden and allow my conscience to move me forward and apologize and make things right, it gets so much better. And you do move up the mountain. We do move up. So we have the perspective we need. We have a global perspective. You know? We need to be realistic with ourselves and start this hard work of chipping away at these walls and these shells that we have built. It's time to take a leap. Take a big leap into the future that we can imagine. We can imagine. Okay, catching up. Oh, hi, Calla Lily. Welcome, sweetie. Portals. Oh, yes. They really are. Have I had a sad life? No. Have I had a difficult life? Yes. Have I had a sad life? I love every moment of my life. It's been an amazing one, you know. Much different than I anticipated. But now in my 60s, you know, I'm still looking back and sorting it all out. So, and I would not agree that Scorpio risings usually have sad lives. I don't do broad generalizations like that. It all depends on where Pluto sits, right? Absolutely. Okay. Ten of Wands card with the wands erased. Yeah, absolutely. Becca, right on. That is absolutely right on. That burden card looked like the Ten of Wands with a rock in place of the wands. So we have a huge responsibility, you know. Individually, we each have a huge responsibility. The Sun, Saturn, individual responsibility. All right. Now our last one is Tarot of the Abyss. This is going to be very, very interesting. And Jake, to be fair, I could very easily say, yes, I've had a tremendously sad life. My brain kind of got broken while I was still an infant. And as I have taken this journey, and, you know, from the time that I stepped consciously onto the path, and let me say, I have had a strong spiritual team with me my entire life. They have always been with me, and I have always been aware of them. With a Pisces moon, is it easy for me to feel sorry for myself and get lost in you know, things and say, oh, you know, it's been awful and be a victim? Absolutely. But those times aren't fun. When my guard is down, when my energy's down, you know, when my connective tissue disorder is smacking me around and my adrenals are crashing and everything, it's very easy to wallow. But I do something about it. And once I get out of that place, I see my life as a miraculous thing. And a way, you know, I have moved myself forward karmically. Let's hope. We'll find out when we get to the end here. Okay. Yeah, well, it's not an easy life, I'll tell you that much. It's not easy, it's intense. And yes, you're here. We absolutely, Scorpio risings are called to transform the ego. You know, it's all about ego death. And boy, you get put through your paces. But I prefer that intensity. You know, that's where I live, man. I don't think you're going to get a Scorpio rising that's going to be okay with having just a, you know, nice little normal life. No, that's not how we roll. I want to do a Celtic Cross with this. I don't do Celtic Crosses very often, but I want to. So the first card we have here is a Seven of Swords. This is the Thief card. This is talking about country being stolen. That we've got the Thief, and then crossing is the Fool. And in a Celtic Cross, the crossing card can be read in the reverse position because it's crossing, right? So we've got this Thief card, somebody that wants to come in and take something that doesn't belong to them. And it's crossed by the Fool. How foolish can you be? Silly little man. Silly little man. At the base of the reading, the foundation is the Hermit. He's isolated. And that's been his choice. I mean, it's just the paranoia, to see him sitting at a table and all of his advisors way across the room, or just one person at a table, and literally this table is like 30 fucking feet long. Way at the end, you're not getting anywhere near me. The isolation, the loneliness, the paranoia. Oof. Up in the sky, we have the King of Cups. Ooh, oh God, fucking court cards. Here we go. Let's see what this deck does with court cards. Let's watch Luna get lazy. Though the ship lists dangerously to one side, the King of Cups stands tall and majestic, assured in his ability to safeguard his crew and their craft. Though the murky waters swirl and thrash about him, he remains poised and self-controlled. While the heaving waters are not to be taken lightly, he and his trustworthy crew have navigated harsher seas before. He stands as one who has ridden the waves of the emotions timelessly and understands their strengths and weaknesses intimately. He's Lord, here's the key, he is Lord over his feelings, master of his emotions. He's got that Gemini moon. He's a real nowhere man. You got that right. Damn. So King of Cups is, yes, someone who is in control of his emotions. Take the form of someone who's caring and thoughtful, wise counselor, emotionally intelligent friend. I might take a clarifier on him. Let's look at the rest. Recent past, Wheel of Fortune. Look at the majors coming out here. The Wheel of Fortune, yes, spin that wheel. How's it going to work out for you, dude? So in the past, it's like, I have been very curious as to why now. Why he's making these moves now. Because I was thinking, why not when Trump was in office? But I think I know the answer to that. I've been really curious, and I've been watching. I want to give a shout out to Revealing Light Tarot. Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality on YouTube. Marianne from Australia. She's amazing. Her readings are incredible. And boy, has she ever taken out the trolls lately. It's great. But I've been wanting to ask her, because she's been doing readings on this, and they're so clear. And I've been wanting to ask her to, please ask, why didn't he do this on Trump's watch? But I think I know why, and it's because Trump was not controllable. He was very easy to manipulate on one level, but on another level, difficult to control. He was a loose cannon, and boy, talk about an itchy trigger finger. I have no doubt if Trump were still president, we would already be in a nuclear war by now. He would have pulled the trigger because, man, he had a Woody for it. So I think in the past, his fortunes changed. We've got the Biden administration. We've got some actual thinking people with consciences at the helm. And that, something changed in the recent past that really made him move. Okay, coming up in the near future, we have the Seven of Pentacles that talks about things under review. So he's definitely going to be reviewing his position as the world comes out against him, and now there's a target on his head, So things get reviewed. Look at Five of Wands, where he is right now. Five of Wands says nothing is coordinated right now. Nothing's working out the way he thought. He thought he was going to be into Ukraine and it was just going to be they were going to lay down, roll over. What else? Sure, come on in, sure. And he did not expect, because he can't understand people standing up and fighting like that. He doesn't understand what's going on. Ooh, the High Priestess. In the situation of the other. He is confounded by this very dispassionate, and I mean it's not dispassionate, it's passionate, but by this calm, we are sticking to our guns. There's this internal strength that he doesn't understand. Yes, losing Trump weakened him. I agree with that, Tavia. Okay, what is he afraid of? Seven of Wands. Of people standing their ground. So look at this. Seven of Wands is, come at me, bro. Come on. We're standing our ground. This is what he's most afraid of, is what's actually happening right now. And the outcome card is Justice. There we go. The outcome card is justice, you guys. I do want to take, we have 5 of Swords. Oh! So I took a hit on the King of Cups and I came up with 5 of Swords, which is the abuse of power. Look at this. Look at the card. It's got a butterfly in a jar. And look at all these swords stabbing what? A cupcake? I don't know what that is. A muffin? I don't know. But maybe talking about pinning insects to cards, you know, but it's an abuse of power. So that's it. In the sky, he's on his power trip. He's a big-ass fool and a thief. His fortunes have been changing. His isolation is going to take him down. His isolation is why he's so deluded, you know, because he doesn't listen to his ministers. Did you see the thing when he was talking about the one minister who was standing up and saying, you know, maybe you shouldn't do this. And Vlad was like, you know, what did you say there? What did you, and he's like, you know, well, I would be in agreement with you. And he's like, you will be, or you are. So he doesn't let people tell him what they think, and they're all afraid of him. And now their fortunes have taken a massive hit on the world market. Now with the State of the Union last night, Biden has finally come out because he's been taking, you know, some steps that could have gone farther, but now he's saying we are taking steps that will grow, and they're seizing assets. They are seizing the assets around the world of all these oligarchs. And by the way, like the week before the invasion started, Putin had his gigantic luxury yacht docked somewhere in Germany, and they pulled it out. It was there for repairs, and it had been there for a while. They still had like a couple months to go to finish the repairs, but suddenly he pulled his yacht away from Germany, and that was like one of the big signals that he's getting ready to bust a move, because he didn't want that seized. Well, now they're seizing the assets of the men around him, and they're going to have no choice but to take him down one way or another. Now, what that's going to look like, I don't know. If they can't physically get close to him, I don't know. But I want to ask. I know. What the hell, you guys? Well, it's a new moon, and things are hot. You know, readings, when things are kind of, you know, that's the way the readings are. I learned, and it was a stunning lesson for me. When I was in the beginning, I did a lot of fairs, and I would do like Ren fairs and stuff where I would be doing readings all day long, like 20 readings, and oh my God, my brain would be mush by the end. But, you know, some readings I would lay them out and it's like, yeah, clear, ding, 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 ding. And then I'd do a reading and lay it out and it's like, well, you know, I mean, kind of, and it's like, you know, what's wrong with me, of course, is what I thought. Oh my God, I must be slipping. What's wrong with me?
Oh, that's you, Pywacket. Are you getting treats? Did you get a treat? Would you come say hi? Come here. Would you come say hi? Come say hi and then have a treat.
Can you see him? The void stares back into my baby.
Go get a treat.
I have a treat toy that he knocks around and the treats fall out. So that's what he's doing. But anyway, I finally realized that the whole thing is a reading, you know? And if I'm sitting there and the story is so clear, that's the person sitting across from me. They're very clear. They know exactly what's going on and what they want to do, and they just want validation. Those are the best readings ever. And the ones that are like, that's the person sitting across from me is like not sure and doesn't know what's going on. And I finally learned to ask when things were just like not really. It's like, okay, I need to ask you, what questions do you have? What question brought you here today? And the answer is always, well, not anything. I was just kind of curious. If there's no question, how can I answer it? You know, how can there be an answer? So tonight we have big questions. We're very clear on what's going on, and the cards absolutely have reflected that. Look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 10 cards are majors. 1, 2, 2 swords, 2 wands, and pentacles. 1 pentacle. And a cup. You know, I had 11 cards here. So 1 cup, 1 pentacle. So we're talking about masculine energy here. Wands and swords, right? Dick measuring contests and whoo boy. But I'm seeing that justice will be served. I think it's going to get uglier before it happens. I mean, how can it not? People are dying. As long as that goes on, it's getting uglier and uglier. But, you know, the bright spots. Ireland waived the visa procedure for Ukrainians fleeing the country. UK didn't want to let them in. Fucking Boris Johnson, you know. He didn't want to let him in, so Ireland said, we'll take you. You don't have to go through the visa process. So there's become this kind of one-upmanship of who's going to be better than others, you know. Okay, they're not going to do that. And I mean, it's been very interesting because we could see, I mean, Ukraine right now is begging to be let into the EU. And I don't know exactly what would happen if they just said, sure, fine, you're part of the EU. It would trigger your war in Europe. That's all there is to it. If they're a member of the EU, the rest of the EU has to come to the rescue, and we've got World War III. We are on the brink. I mean, we're in it. We're in it. I can't remember what I was reading, and somebody said there will be World War III, and somebody said we're already in it. We've been in it for a while, and it's the truth. It's a grassroots war. It's a war of people against businesses and hierarchies. So, yeah. Wow. But, you know, the UK left the EU, so they're not part of that alliance. And we're not part of the EU, obviously, but we have strong allies that are part of the EU and NATO and everything else. I mean, these alliances are getting stronger and bigger. I find it fascinating that I think it was India, Pakistan, these, you know, fascist-leaning governments like China, India, have not outwardly denounced, but they also haven't stood in the way of what the alliances are doing to take him down. They have not said, you know, no, we're on his side. And Switzerland, you guys, neutral Switzerland is neutral no longer. So we are seeing incredible historic things happening. Yeah, I mean, to accept them in right now means immediate war. I'm going to ask something here. Because this deck, woo baby, I just fell in love. You know, unfortunately, when I'm doing... Sorry, I've got pie hair in my mouth now. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to bring up too. Thank you, Tavia. Is the fact that we've got a couple more years before Pluto exits Capricorn and goes into Aquarius. And historically, when Pluto has reached, here we go, has reached 2 degrees, came out upside down, I'm gonna leave it upside down. When Pluto reaches 2 degrees of the new sign, it reaches the point where it will no longer retrograde back out of that sign. And when Pluto has reached 2 degrees of a new sign, if you look back, the world wars started. At times like that, there have been major global events when Pluto has hit 2 degrees of a sign. So, you know, I think it's 2024, is it 24 or 25 when Pluto finally hits Aquarius? And if we don't have our shit together by then, it's going to hit Aquarius with a bang. Because Pluto in Aquarius, Pluto ruled by Uranus, the two planets that are involved with sudden, unexpected, global, inevitable, revolutionary. If we haven't taken care of this nuclear problem by then, we're going to be in serious trouble. So I wanted to ask about, what did I want to ask about? What the hell? I think I wanted to ask about the negotiation process, and will we be able to turn things around without getting directly involved? I mean, certainly we are pouring money and weaponry and ammunition and everything into Ukraine. And Four of Wands here, I mean, this talks about creating something together, but it came out reversed. All right. I want 3. I will take them out of here. There's the King of Cups again and the King of Swords. Look. Ooh. So we had the Four of Wands reversed, which to me would say we can't come to an agreement. We can't agree on what's being built together, on the way forward. We're not going to be able to create something together. So that's talking about negotiating from one side to another. 8 of Wands talks about things happening fast. And then we've got the King of Cups and the King of Swords. The King of Cups saying, hey, you know, we can do this. Here, we'll do this. We'll give you this. And the King of Swords saying, no, fuck it, I want it all. Let's see what these are. The Lovers and the Six of Swords. Okay, so the Lovers does talk about coming together, bringing things together. And the Six of Swords talks about being able to move through trouble, to move beyond trouble and get to the other side. So things are going to happen fast. The Lovers talks about it. I think this is talking about the alliances. But I want to know, ooh, maybe I need to get the silver balls out. I'm going to ask this deck one more time. I want to know, will we be able to resolve this with just the sanctions and the indirect means? I'm going to call these indirect means. There's the High Priestess again. So the stuff going on behind the scenes, the secrets that we have, the keeping things close to the vest, not revealing all of the things that we have. The cards are flying, you guys. Okay. Awakening. This is the Judgment card. And then that one is the Ace of Wands. All right, that's a no. Shit. I was looking for a yes or no answer, and that's it. Is the Ace of Wands upside down. Are we going to be able to bring this to a satisfactory conclusion with just sanctions and diplomacy and negotiation? And that says no. The Awakening says that on top of the High Priestess says there's a lot more secrets to be revealed here. And, you know, it's all this process of we have to, I think, karmically, you know, the majority of the world was not here and alive when the nukes went off last time, right? The majority of the world has not experienced up close and personal what nuclear holocaust would mean. And I think, unfortunately, karmically, we need to experience that so that we know in no uncertain terms what we're saying no to. And is Putin the last madman on this planet? Oh, fuck no. Let's see. Catching up here, 2 degrees. Okay, Jake, where are you getting that 2 degrees Taurus energy? Okay. A question of the aliens, that's for another night. That's for another night. They're already here. We know that. We know the aliens are here. There are people that are contacting them regularly. Look up Stephen Greer and Project Blue Book and stuff like that. They're already here. And I also want to say, I'm glad you brought that up, Jake, because I also want to say that this planet is so fucking special and such a wealth of resources that the extraterrestrials are not going to let us kill it. They might let us kill ourselves off because, boy, are we a pain in the ass. And then they would have this beautiful planet. Because we can't destroy this planet. She's far too strong. At any rate, catching up some more here. Okay, Cal, if they're invading troops on the ground, can't join NATO according to Article 5. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Tavia. They would have to fight alongside. So that's the thing. If they let them into the EU or into NATO now, we are instantly, right now, we are in war. It's an instant war. World war, you know. And air attacks, no, that's direct. I'm talking about indirect, meaning being everything but fighting. Everything but actual combat. Attack, bombs, guns, all that shit. Indirect is seizing all the assets of the oligarchs, freezing all the bank accounts, no-fly zones. Russia, now they have put a moratorium on any flights from Russia coming into the U.S. So we are isolating them. And when this first started, hey, Darcy, you remember when we were sitting in the hot tub? And I said, I'm just seeing this wall. I'm seeing this wall built around. I thought it was a wall being built around Ukraine, but it's not. It's a wall around Russia. We are walling them off from the resources of the world. We are walling them off from the world economy, global economy. We are walling them off from access to their own assets. So that is what I mean by indirect. And it's going to get to a point, and this is why I'm scared. This is why I think there's going to be one. Because it's going to get to a point where Putin has no choices left, and there's nothing more dangerous than someone who has nothing left to lose. So the diplomacy, you know, what we're going to be offering is here, you can have your money back. You can have your money back if you don't do these things. So we have to, you know, play it the way we're playing it because we don't want an instant world war in Europe. It's still as contained as it can be, even though Ukraine is taking a beating. So let's see here. Okay, Jake. Yeah, no, honey, we're not done yet. Yes. I don't, but when they come out, I mean, I don't set the deck up for reversals, but when they come flying out in reverse, you know, I call them as I see them. So there we go. Yes, we are isolating, we are cutting Russia off from the rest of the world, and the isolation is crippling their economy. That was very well put. The isolation is crippling. Very, very unfortunately, it is affecting regular Russians who don't want this. But then again, you're seeing thousands of people. It's like, okay, if 1,000 people protest against the Russian government, they can arrest them all. If 100,000 protest, they can't. So this is also strong impetus for the Russian people to finally stand up and do what they need to do to take their country back and experience something that they've probably never experienced in their entire lives. Oh, I see the 2 degrees. I was talking about 2 degrees of a new sign with Pluto. Okay. Okay. Interesting. All right, Jake, thanks. Gonna have to declare and enforce it. Well, we did. Russian flights have been banned from European airspace. So any EU airspace, the UK, everybody around there has just said no Russian planes. So there's nowhere they can go. I mean, they can go up and over, I guess. But Canada, you know, everybody has shut off airspace to Russian flights. Which means that it's going to be tougher for people to get out of the country. if people are going to try to flee that have the means to do that. No, I mean, no-fly zone means no-fly zone. You're in a flight, you come into a country's airspace, and you have to ask for permission to come in, and they say no. And, okay, I see, Kala, where you're going, because if somebody violates that no-fly zone, then something has to happen. I imagine if they managed to make it into the States and land, that they would just confiscate the plane. They'd take the plane and arrest the pilots, and there you go, So, but I am banking on the fact that the soldiers don't want to be there. They were lied to. The people have been lied to. Things like, I saw that OnlyFans had banned any Russian performers from the platform, but then immediately they walked it back, and OnlyFans is famous for jumping too fast and walking things back. They walked it back because the people that work on OnlyFans do not represent the Russian government. The soccer team does. The Olympic athletes do. They're funded by the government. They represent the country and the government, so they have been kicked out of, the World Cup and all that kind of stuff. That's fair. But taking it out on individual workers on a particular platform is not fair. So OnlyFans walked it back, and I'm glad they did. Flying over Ukraine to keep Russia from flying over. Yeah. Well, I mean, Russia has invaded. So, and I know that Ukraine doesn't really have a strong air force or navy at this point. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't think we would shoot a passenger flight down. I think if a passenger flight decided to, well, here's something else. So a passenger flight manages to make it out of Russia and comes to any other place that has banned them from their airspace and says, we're defecting. Let us in, we want to defect. Interesting. Yes, Putin would love to fight us, but we all have too many nukes. But anyway, I think something else is going to be happening here. There's the King of Cups again, damn it. Lovers and Four of Wands. All right, just stuff we had before. Anyway, holy moly, you guys. Let's do, no, what do you think? I can't believe it's only been an hour and 45 minutes. We packed a lot into tonight in a pretty short time, didn't we? Okay, I'm going to go get Socrates. I'll be right back. All right. All right, Socks. Okay, I'm asking my guides to take the wheel here. And Socrates, I'm telling you, I'm not asking you, I am telling you, do not bullshit me. I am fucking serious. I want a straight answer. I want a true answer. Do you hear me? No bullshit. All right. Let's just cut to the chase here. We did Voyager. We did Voyager earlier, Laura. Did you miss it? Uh-oh. I think it was the first one out. First or second one out. Anyway, first question here. Will Vladimir Putin deploy a nuclear warhead in this conflict with the Ukraine?
Calipano.
Nobody knows yet. Things are up in the air. Will hold on. Can't believe I haven't had any water. Okay, I will go back to the Voyager. Will anyone other than Ukrainian troops end up actively fighting Russia.
You're a fucking loser.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Will the European Union and NATO and all of the allies be able to resolve this conflict with indirect means, with sanctions and diplomacy?
You're in luck, shithead.
Okay, all right, cool. Cool. Cool, cool. Okay. Any other questions? He seems to be not fucking with me tonight. But the question of nukes is up in the air. Things have not progressed. You know, when you get an answer of it just says things have not gelled, things have not progressed to a point that an answer is reachable. Okay. Do we have any other yes or no questions that you guys would like to ask? Ask her and ants and ask her. Okay. All right. I don't have any more questions. If you want to see, we can do one more Voyager because it hasn't even been 2 hours and I was prepped. I was prepped to be here for the long haul. Yes, Jake, I agree. I'm terribly sad for the Russian people as well. But this is where they've got to decide that they are powerful and take the power as it comes to them. I mean, look at what Ukraine's doing. We've got grandmothers making Molotov cocktails. The one brewery that decided, no, we're not going to bottle beer. We're bottling Molotov cocktails. Oh, I had the deck upside down. The two that came out, trust and reflection. Okay. I'm going to go off the top with the rest. Trust, reflection, and growth. So this is just talking to us for ourselves, and I'm glad. I'm glad you asked for Voyager again, because I do want something that's just for us and not, about global politics. So for us, 6 of Wands, 2 of Worlds, 10 of Wands, it says that we need to, for the work that you're doing, if you haven't done ritual yet, if you haven't burnt some candles yet today or done whatever spell work you'd like to do for the new moon, get yourself in a place of trust, absolute trust. What does that mean? It means that when you're burning those candles, you're not thinking, oh, I hope, I wish, I hope, oh, please, oh, please. You're thinking, so be it. So mote it be. That's trust. Then we have reflection, 2 of Worlds here. So, reflection and growth. I think reflection is, the one, what was the one that I took that was talking about receptivity? Receptivity, I'm seeing that with reflection here, is just really opening ourselves, being in that place of trust. It's more important than ever now that you do care for yourself in such a way that generates those feelings of faith and trust and joy, that you feel empowered. You behave in a way and take care of yourself in a way that makes you feel empowered. Don't let yourself sink into despair over this. Because growth card, 10 of Wands is growth. It talks about, look at all these trees. It talks about really having to push forward and make a huge effort. But we can do this. We reflect each other. We know you don't have to wonder what other people want. We don't have to wonder. Boy, I don't understand those people. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. We want to feel good. We want to eat. We want to have a home. We want to know that someone loves us and have someone to love in return. We all want these things. We reflect that in each other. So trust, we need to trust in our fellow human beings as well, knowing that they want the same things we want, and then we can grow together. Okay, we have setback and harvest, so we're definitely going through a major setback right now. But is it really? Is it really? We're coming out of a setback, that's for sure. We did have a big setback. But I mean, I think we've all just been in this. This is just the journey. You know, we're always moving forward on the path. Even if it's not what we think, you know, even if it feels like, oh God, we're going in the wrong direction, we're still moving on the path. Five of Worlds here. Look at, you know, I'm looking at the plant in the parched desert here. This is talking about climate change, actually, you guys. Look at setback and harvest. Look at all the worlds here. So we're in these cycles, and what we're going through right now could bring us a big setback as far as our other agendas, taking care of climate change, dealing with the pandemic. You know, we're horribly distracted right now. But harvest says that we're reaping what we've sown, plain and simple. Trust and reflection says the setback is kind of in how we trust each other and how we really regard each other as fellow human beings. So this might have shaken some faith here in, you know, the illusion of security. We have definitely been shaken, and then we get the Emperor at the bottom. Ooh, boy. So it's decision time, folks. It's just decision time. And it is time to feel yourself as powerful individually in your life. It is time to recognize the authority that you are in your life, to make the decisions that you need to make about how you want to be and how you do you, boo. The Emperor at the bottom talks about really being a place of each of us individually feeling our own power and our own authority in our own lives. We do reflect each other. We can trust each other. Or we can trust that we all want the same things. Let's go that far because of setback here. We trust that we reflect each other and we all want the same things. But what we need to do is look at our personal lives and see where we have not, where we feel disempowered, where we are refusing to accept our own power and authority, where we are passing off decisions, oh, that's not mine to decide, where we really could become more powerful in our own lives. We can do our magic. We can generate the change that we need to generate. We can get together in our prayer circles and bathe the earth in these energies that we generate, right? We are powerful. We do have a choice, is what the Emperor is saying at the end there. So how's that for a second Voyager? What do you think? What do you think, you guys? I just looked up and it was 155.55 is how long. And boy, fives are all about change, aren't they? Fives are about things that we've built kind of starting to deteriorate, and then we have choices to make. Setback here is a 5. We had 6, 2, 10, 9. Okay. Emperor is 4. But fives are all about change. So, you know, we're in it. We're in it, y'all. We are in big ass Plutonian change. It's going to be interesting to see as the Mars-Venus conjunction moves past Pluto and into Aquarius. Once Mars and Venus hit Aquarius, it's going to be fucking interesting. Then we will have this big wad in Aquarius and another wad in Pisces. So, whew. Wow, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me if you get something from this, please think about hitting one of those donation buttons down below and support the channel. I have not made like a community for the channel or, you know, set up memberships or anything like that because it's just your choice. And, you know, I'm still reclaiming content. So, but please share, please hit the like button if you in fact did like this. Hit the notification and comment. When you comment on videos and things, the algorithm wakes up a little bit. So I am on my way to 1,500 subscribers, and I'm just kind of waiting for that tipping point when it starts to pick up a little bit faster. Yes, I agree. May Zielinski stay safe. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Tavia. Yeah, this was fun tonight. You know, some nights it's like hard work, but this night it was not hard work. It was very much fun. All right. And yes, please send your prayers to Zielinski, to the Ukrainian people. They need all the energetic help we can send them. Protection, energetic help to keep them fortified is what I will say. All right, let me come back big. Da, 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 da. All right, you guys, thanks again for hanging out with me. I will see you again on Friday for another unboxing. Ooh, I got a really cool new deck. Looky. This one I'll do maybe Monday. Yeah. So I will see you on unboxings, and I'll see you next Wednesday for another live stream, perhaps another prayer circle this weekend. We really need it. So I'm thinking, yeah, we'll have another prayer circle this weekend. Until then, thanks so much for being here. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. All of you. I appreciate you. And I will see you next time. Till then, blessed be.